Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Yes, thank you, sir. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening.
Good evening, ma'am.
Good evening. So
Good
I
evening,
think
ma'am.
I'm clearly audible. I'm audible clearly.
Yes, yes.
Good evening, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
really audible.
Yes, ma'am, you are.
Yeah, thank you. So, friends, it's 7-day FDP. It's an introductory module on SPSS, right? So, before starting the session, I would extend my sincere gratitude for the RFI team for the organization of this FDP and giving me an invitation to conduct this FDP. And special thanks I will give to Ajay Jain sir and Saurabh Jain sir for this particular FDP organization. And with this, I think I can start the session. So friends, today is a day 1, which is a very basic day. Means today I'm going to talk about the very basic things about the SPSS. Before talking about SPSS, I'll discuss few of the things regarding the research, and then we will talk about SPSS. Then we will see how SPSS can help us in the data analysis. So we will understand the interface of SPSS firstly, right? So I hope those who have joined this FDP have already downloaded SPSS.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So friends, I will share my screen, right? But once I'll share my screen, because it's a Google Meet, so I cannot see at the back end. If you are having any queries, if you wish to discuss something, in that case, you need to unmute yourself, right? If you are raising your hands and maybe writing something in the chat, I cannot read because once I'll share my screen, I cannot see the back screen, right? I hope you are understanding this. And I wish that please be interactive during the session because it is like online sessions. It's very difficult to understand whether you people are getting me or not. So meanwhile, I'll generally ask, are you getting me or not? So it's good if you are responding to me. Fine.
Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. So I have shared my screen. I am sharing screen Word document. I hope my Word document is visible to you.
Yeah, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So friends, SPSS generally we are using for the data analysis. But to come on the data analysis, I think we need to understand some prior things which is linking us with the data analysis, right? So I'll start my talk with the term research. I don't think so. Anyone is in this particular meeting is not knowing research. I think every one of you is knowing about the research term, right? So before talking or saying something on research, can you please tell me whatever I have written is visible clearly to you? Font size is fine, or do I need to increase it?
Yes, ma'am. It's visible.
Visible, fine. Thank you, ma'am. So anyone who wish to say on research term, anything you are understanding with the term, please express.
Yeah. So, am I audible, ma'am?
Yeah, I can hear.
Yeah. So, research is a systematic body of knowledge which is generated through scientific inquiry.
Okay, fine. Anyone else?
Search for something new for uh, for uh, for uh, for our life to be more comfortable and luxury.
Will you please repeat, sir? Search for new thing. This is what you said.
Search of something new
Search of something.
which
Fine.
is not yet discovered or researched, or researched also, but make our life more luxurious,
Fine.
more comfortable.
Fine. Yes. Anyone else?
Yeah, ma'am. Creation of new
Yes,
knowledge,
ma'am.
or we can say the research, it also likes to develop new insights, understandings, or interpretation about any subject or anything.
Okay. Systematic or scientific process. Ma'am, will you please repeat the line once again?
Sure, ma'am.
Yeah.
Research is nothing but like it makes sense like creation of new knowledge
Creation of new
as
knowledge.
well as yeah,
Very good.
it also aims to develop the new insights or understandings or interpretations about a subject.
Good. Very good. Yes. Anyone else?
Ma'am, research is a structured approach with defined steps such as formulating a question or collecting or analyzing data and drawing a conclusion.
Fine. Oh, good. Thank you so much, ma'am. Anyone else wish to contribute?
It is a path from known to unknown.
Very good. Okay, very good. Anyone else?
Ma'am, it is value addition to the existing research
Very
or
good.
existing knowledge.
Very correct. I think lots of things you people have contributed when I'm talking about term research. I don't think so. I need to say anything right after this one. You people have expressed it, right? So I think when I talk about research, I say research is generally made up of two terms, re plus search, right? That is searching again and again, right? This is also this means this from this point of view also we can look at the research, yes, right? So when I'm saying research is nothing but it's a search or quest of finding something new. We are searching again and again because we know the almost the domains or the problems are almost similar nowadays. It is not like we are not finding the unique idea. We are finding, but most of the time maybe things are older, but still we want to get some more new insights from the same problem or in the same area or in the same or for the same problem, right? So we can say this is the purpose of any researcher or any academician why we are writing the research paper. Generally, one aim is like we want to increase our scores and all. Other thing, if anybody who is willingly doing the research, generally people are doing the research for contributing something to the field of that particular, means in whatever field they're doing the work in that particular field, that people want to contribute something so that maybe the society can get benefited from whatever the new findings we have got from the research, right? Maybe it is also helping the industries so that if industries are reading our works, maybe they can get more insights in that particular domain, and that way they can make better strategies, right? So generally, when I'm saying searching again and again, the meaning is very simple, is that already a problem is being explored by the previous researchers or authors, but still after a certain period of time, when the tastes and preferences and the environment is changing, time period is changing, so the changes have been observed or adopted by that particular field also. So we want to see what are the repercussions or what are the impact of those changes in that particular field or in that particular problem area. So that is why in the same means if the problem has already been explored, still we are exploring it so that maybe we are getting some more insights which can help the other persons, right? So that is why we are doing research. That is search. We are doing a search again and again, almost in the same problem area or maybe in the same domain, right? Moving ahead, when I talk about further, so I come to the research paper writing or writing a thesis, because I think the people, those who are here in the particular research, probably their aim to write a research paper, or maybe they are writing, so maybe they want to understand how SPSS is helping them, right? Or maybe you are writing your dissertation or your thesis, so maybe you want to understand these things. So when I talk about research paper or thesis or dissertation, So generally there are a particular format we need to follow to write it, right? So broadly, if I talk about any research work, start with the abstract, obviously followed by the title. We need to write the introduction. We need to talk about the literature review. We need to talk about the research gap, objectives. Conceptual framework will come in the literature review part itself, right? So objectives followed by hypothesis, research methodology, then data analysis and interpretation. Usually we can write findings and discussion. Conclusion. Then limitation, implication, etc. Right? This way, generally, we are completing our work. These are the some of the common components usually followed in almost not all, but in many domains, right? So, as I have talked about these components, I think we all know when I talk about the introduction. Introduction is generally focusing on your problem area, right? What are the keywords are coming in your introduction? These keywords can help you to write your introduction, and you are emphasizing the problem area in the introduction part. Further, we are moving and talking about the literature review. So literature review is the very, what I can say, extensive process, because in this particular area, in this particular head, we need to read or review the past researches, right? Means people those who have worked in almost same domain, you need to read their work, that what they have found. Usually latest, it means last 5 years papers we are generally reviewing, so that we would be in a position to understand the gap, that what is not being explored or touched by the previous researchers. So that way we are trying to fill up that gap with our study. So we are writing a para for the research gap. After that, if we have found the research gap, right, so it is very easier for us to write our objectives. So we are writing our objectives, and objectives are helping us to write our hypothesis. Then moving ahead, talking about the research methodology. So once we are clear what is our title, what is the gap, what hypothesis we are proposing, then we are writing the research methodology, which becomes the guiding path for us for writing the entire research. Because this is now, means from this point onwards, we are now very clear that what will be our population, what will be our sampling method, what will be our sample size, what will be the sampling unit for us. We will be in a position to understand sampling frame if applicable. Not everywhere you are writing the sampling frame. Then you are moving and talking about the data collection tools, secondary and primary, whatever you are using in your study. Then further, we are talking about the data analysis tools and techniques. That means which software we are going to use for the analysis and which statistical techniques we are applying, right? Then coming to the next, we are talking about the data analysis and interpretation. Once we are through with the research methodology, that means we are very clear about our variables and all, and that way the method we have written, whether we are using the secondary data or primary. So if we are going with the secondary, means we need to avail the data from any secondary sources. If we are going for the primary, we need to find which is the appropriate tool we are using to collect the data. Once your data is collected, you will be going for the data analysis and interpretation part. After that, whatever interpretation you are drawing from the analysis, you need to write down the findings of those, and also you need to discuss your findings in context to the findings of the previous authors. That means, suppose you are saying your null hypothesis is rejected, means you are going with your alternative hypothesis. So you need to say, or you need to find any suitable support in the previous researches. Maybe you are finding that previous study is supporting your findings, or maybe it is contradicting to your findings. So that we need to write the discussion. Then you will go and write the conclusion of your complete study. Limitations. Obviously, in every research there are certain limitations. Generally, we are going with. So we need to jot down the limitations which we have faced while doing this particular research. We need to talk about the implication part, which is very important because this is helping the underlying stakeholders of the field, that how your research can benefit them. So you need to write that. And at last, you need to give the credit to all the researches or all the previous works which have helped you to write your work. So you need to cite, or you need to give the references of all the research papers which you have cited in your research paper. And appendices means if extra tables or graphs, etc. are having with you, so rather than keeping them in a research paper body, you can append here, right? So this way, this is the flow of our research paper, right? After that, I'll come to now SPSS. I think it is clear to everyone. May I go ahead now?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So now I'll talk about the SPSS. So I think everyone is knowing SPSS is statistical package for social sciences, right? So in the name of the software, the domain is mentioned, which is social science. Means the domains which are coming under the social science, they are whatever research are carried in those particular domains. For analyzing the data of those fields, we are using the SPSS, right? So it's a statistical package. Generally, we can use it in the psychology field, education field, anthropology field. Then we can say in the medical sciences. These are some of the domains of the social science where we can, whatever research we are doing, so to analyze that data, we can use the SPSS, right? So SPSS is nowadays widely used. Reason is why? What reason is very simple. It is a point and click type of software. Point and click meaning is what? Once I'll show you, and I think you people have already downloaded it, you can see you do not need to go for doing any kind of coding and all, right? You need to only explore the appropriate menu or tab, and that way you can take the task from that particular option available in that menu. So that is why it is very easier for the users to use, right? So it is very user friendly. If you are not good with, suppose if I talk about Excel, right? In Excel, we are using the functions, right? So maybe sometime it happens for while writing the function, we need to understand its syntax, what the parameters we need to pass inside the particular function. So maybe some people are not much comfortable using them. So that is why we can say SPSS is much easier as compared to Excel also. Apart from that, if I talk about the programming languages like Python or R, so in R and Python, we need to generally go for the coding. So whatever package we are using there, we need to understand this thing in that package. Whatever the function I am using, I need to understand what kind of syntaxes I need to follow. So that is why those softwares become little bit tough for the users, and users are generally not much comfortable using them. So that is why SPSS is one rescue for us, which can help us from all these things. So that is why people are generally, or most of the people are generally opting or choosing the SPSS for their research analysis, right? So if I talk about what we can do using SPSS, so multiple kind of functions we can perform in the SPSS. So if I talk about a simple data analysis, right, that means whichever software we are using, we know this thing. Once we are collecting the data, we need to clean our data. Clean our data meaning is that we need to see, is there any problem with the data or not? Is there any missing value available or not? Data is properly available with us or not? So there are so many things you need to check while before doing the analysis of the data. So if you want to go for the basic checking of your data, means cleaning, if you want to go for the cleaning of the data, that you can perform using the SPSS, right? If you wish to go for the identifying of the missing value, SPSS is allowing you to do so. If you want to impute missing value, that is also possible to do with the SPSS. Similarly, if you want to check the outliers available in your data, that is also possible with the SPSS. So you can check the outliers also. So these are the basic things which we need to firstly perform before sending our data for the processing or for performing any statistical analysis. So this is the preliminary stage which we need to perform on the data. So this is possible with the SPSS, right? Moving ahead, then further, if I talk about the statistical analysis, so statistical analysis start with the descriptive statistics. So in SPSS, there are three varieties available under the descriptive statistics that we can perform. Then we'll go for the inferential statistics like hypothesis testing. So most of the, not almost all the tests which we are using for testing of the hypothesis are available in the SPSS. Similarly, if we are going ahead and talking about the advanced statistics like factor analysis and all that you can perform using the SPSS. Then if you want to go for the medical field, generally in medical field, we are going for the survival analysis. It is possible for us to perform that. In the field of marketing, we are having certain specific tests like RFM analysis, that is we are doing for the segment analysis and all, like so that you can do. Similarly, if you want to go for the time series analysis, it is also possible to do with the SPSS. So we can say the list is long. SPSS means the applications of SPSS, if I talk about, is very, what I can say, numerous things we can perform using the SPSS. So that is why generally it is a choice of the researchers nowadays. People are using it. So the reason is it is very user friendly and it is helping us to perform so many tests, right? So that is why people are using it, right? Coming to the next thing. The next thing is that when I talk about SPSS, generally it is, I think when you have downloaded, you have seen this thing, you have observed this thing, that it is a IBM product, right? So IBM SPSS, it is known as. So it is a product of IBM, right? Presently, I think 29.0 version is presently the new version available in SPSS. And I hope everyone has downloaded that. But I will deliver the session through the 25.0, right? So there will be no much changes, almost similar, but some amendments or modifications will be there in the new version. So if you are stuck in somewhere, you can ask me, right? Second thing about the SPSS is that it's a costly software, right? Means it is not like Excel or other softwares. Like if I am using, I have used once Orange also, so it is freely available. I'm using R also, it is freely available. Python is, it is freely available, but SPSS is not freely available. So once you have downloaded it, you have seen this thing, it has provided you to download the trial version of SPSS, right? That means for the 30 days tenure, it is available for you, right? Next thing is that problem with this is that that once you have downloaded it, and after 30 days of the period, if again you are going and trying to download it, it will not allow you to download, because it reads your machine ID also, right? And it read your email ID also, right? So you need to change the machine, you need to change the email if you want to again avail SPSS for more 30 days, right? So that is a little drawback of the SPSS, but usually if you are having any connection in any institutions, and if institutions are having that particular key available with them, and if they can help you, so that way you can avail it, right? I hope everything is fine. I can continue.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine. Okay, so I think I have talked about SPSS, what SPSS is all about. Transformation, and one thing I think I forgot to tell you, transformation of the variable is also possible. Means if you want to change the type of your variable from one form to the other form, that you can do using the SPSS. So means all the preliminary stages which we are performing on the data to make data analysis ready, that we can do using the SPSS, right? I hope till here I am clear to everyone.
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, madam. Yes, yes.
Thank you, everyone. So moving ahead, talking about now the main things which can help us to understand the analysis, right? So I'll come to the term variable. So anyone who can tell me what do you understand by variable? Yes.
Ma'am, variable is anything which tends to change. That is, it may be learning achievement, or it may be any age, or gender. These are called variables.
Very good. Thank you so much. May I know the name?
My name is Dr. Suranjita Muni.
Suranjita ma'am. Thank you so much, ma'am. Ma'am has said very correctly. When we talk about variable, variable is nothing but it is any entity or object, right? Or maybe it's a characteristic. So there it can be object, it can be entity, it can be any characteristics, right? So in the name itself, the meaning is hidden. We can say variable which varies, which is not constant, is variable, right? So any object or entity or characteristics which varies is known as variable, right? So we can say which is not constant is known as variable, right? So in context to the research, if I talk about, say for example, I am studying the weight of the people. So I think we know this thing, when I'm changing the object, that means a respondent. So the weight will change. So weight is any particular characteristics of a person which generally changes from person to person, right? So that way we can say variables are nothing but these are any entity which generally changing from one object to the or one entity to the other, right? So that is known as variable, right? There are variety of variables available in the research field, right? So I hope everyone is knowing the types. Anyone who wants to say about types?
Yeah, ma'am.
Yeah.
It's dependent variable, independent variable,
Yes.
control variables, and extraneous variable, and also confounding variables, moderating as well.
Okay.
Random variable.
Okay.
Quantitative variables as well.
Okay.
Yes. Mediating as well.
Right. So I may I know the name, ma'am, who was talking to me?
Nusrat, ma'am.
Sorry,
It's me. Nusrat.
Nusrat.
You can call me Nusrat. Yeah.
Okay, fine. Thank you so much, ma'am, for your contribution. Thank you. So, ma'am said correctly. The range, I can say the list when I talk about the types of variable is very long, right? But I think I am concentrating on the broad classification firstly. When I talk about the types, the broad classification is qualitative and quantitative. Everything comes under these two, right? If I talk about the qualitative or maybe quantitative, if I say, so quantitative meaning is which are measurable or which can be measured in terms of numbers, right? Are known as quantitative variable, which you can quantify is known as quantitative variable, right? For example, anyone? Anyone?
Ranks.
Ranks?
Yeah.
Height.
Student
Size of the
marks.
object.
Yeah, student marks or results
Very good.
per second.
Height, marks, weight. Sorry?
And age, we can say age.
Age, very good.
Prices of the object.
Intelligence.
Size, very good. Sorry? I have not heard what you said, sir.
Intelligence.
Not clear to me.
You
Maybe
mean
the
IQ
Intelligence,
score?
ma'am.
consumer.
Intelligence, okay. Okay.
And weight also. Weight, you were discussing about the weight. Weight we can write here.
Wait, very good. Okay. So GDP, there can be and various variables. Sorry?
Types of soil.
You please. Types of?
Soil.
Okay. Fine, no issues. So let me clear you one thing. I said which you can quantify is known as quantitative variable. Height I'll accept, marks I'll accept, age, price, length I accept, weight I accept. Ranks I want to know. I don't know who said the ranks. Can anyone, ma'am or sir, I don't know who said the this example ranks. Can you please clarify how ranks can be a quantitative variable?
I think no. Rank is not a quantitative variable.
It's not a
It is
quantitative.
qualitative in nature, I guess.
Yes, yes. Similarly, intelligence. Can we say intelligence? It's a quantitative variable. I think yes. When we are taking in terms of IQ, we can say.
Intelligence,
When we are taking it in
Intelligence
terms
is a
of IQ.
qualitative variable.
Sorry.
it is a
Intelligence.
qualitative phenomena.
No.
Yes.
Intelligence, if I'm measuring in terms of IQ, in that case, I can, because IQ is a nothing but it's a score value. IQ is 100, 102, 105, something. If this is the case, this is a quantitative variable, right? Next comes to the qualitative variable.
Can we keep,
Yeah.
sorry to
Next
disturb you, ma'am. Can we add on like temperature also in recording
Temperature you
temperature
can
as well?
Temperature can be the quantitative variable, yes.
Yeah.
Coming to the next, the qualitative variable, so opposite to the quantitative, that is which you cannot quantify, which is not measurable in terms of numbers, is known as qualitative variable. So anyone who can say or give some examples for this?
Ma'am,
Gender.
beauty, honesty,
Gender.
Level of satisfaction.
Level of
beauty, honesty, intelligence.
Intelligence, sir, I think IQ, if I have already written under the quantitative one. If you are, or if you are expressing your example, which is not clear to everyone, so you can first tell us, describe us that why it is a qualitative variable, so that we will mention, no issues.
Any type of narrative.
Hello.
Socioeconomic status.
Yes, socioeconomic status, I can say, right? SES can come.
And eye
Gender
color
can
as
come.
well.
Eye color
Eye
also.
color.
Very good. Eye color can come.
Types of
Hair
fruits
color.
as well.
Sorry, ma'am.
Types of food. Types of fruits, ma'am. Fruits.
Types of, after it, I am not understanding. Types of
Fruits.
fruits, yes, it can be example. Right. I think it is sufficient. So you can understand where you cannot go for the quantification. Categorical kind of things are there that can come under the qualitative variable, right?
And narratives also, ma'am.
Sorry.
Any type of narrative.
Narrative can be the qualitative variable. Yes, it can be. Coming to the next, after quantitative and qualitative, as I said, these are the broad classifications, right? Now, next comes the discrete and continuous. Because why I'm discussing discrete and continuous, after today or maybe tomorrow, when I discuss about the hypothesis testing and all, so in many of the things you will find the word continuous or numeric, right? So it is, so we can say it's numeric also. So it is very important to understand these two also. So discrete meaning it's a numeric variable, it's a quantitative variable only, but it is in terms of whole numbers, right? Generally positive whole numbers or positive integers, if you can say, right? Say, for example, number of teachers in a staff room, right? Total family members, etc. So we can see in all the examples, it is obviously the number will always come a complete number. I cannot say in my family there are 5.5 people. Not possible, right? So it will always be a complete number. So this is known as discrete variable. Opposite to this, when I talk about the next, which is the continuous, so continuous variable is like, if I'm measuring the length, suppose I'm measuring the length of my mobile, what is the exact length of my mobile, suppose, right? So it can be something in between two numbers. Might be, suppose I found 5.52. Getting my point? So I can say between the two numbers, there are n numbers or infinite numbers existing. So any variable which is having such nature that that variable can accept any value between any two numbers is known as continuous variable or numeric variable. That means a variable which can be expressed in terms of the decimal points. Can be, not always, right? If I am saying the weight of a person, so might be possible the person weight can be exact 56 and might be it can be 56.24 something itself, right? So variable nature is very important to understand, that that variable can be expressed in the form of decimal numbers, is known as continuous variable, right? Next comes now the categorical variable. So categorical variable is nothing but it is the qualitative variable which you can categorize easily. For example, gender. I want to what I can say, divide my respondents on the basis of their gender. So I can easily identify how many of the male, how many of the female. I want to divide my respondents on the basis of their occupation. So that way I can say how many of the business class people, how many are retired persons. So that is the categorical variable, right? Which can help you to categorize your data. Next comes the dependent and independent variable. It is very important again when we talk about the hypothesis testing, right? So independent variable is what? Independent variable is a variable which is independent, right? Means which is not depending on any variable, is known as independent variable. Or in the mathematical language, if I say, I can say the variable which can accept any value is known as independent variable. Opposite to this, the dependent variable is a variable which is depending on the other variable, right? That means which is depending on the independent variable is known as dependent variable. For example, again, I'm taking a very simple example, price and demand. I think this is economics law. We all know when price increases, demand decreases. So that way we can say demand is depending upon the price, right? So these two always we are understanding with the help of a example, a common example, right? So common two variables we are taking and understanding which is dependent, which is independent. It is clear? Till here I am clear to everyone?
Clear, ma'am.
Fine. Next comes the control variable. So control variable means which we are controlling in our research. For example, I'm controlling the gender variable, right? So means control variables are nothing but these are the moderators. I think one of you already told me one more type, that is moderator, right? So moderators are generally control variables, right? We are controlling them in our study. Is known as control variable or moderators, means again the categorical variables. Extraneous variable means which are impacting the your variables, the independent, dependent, but maybe you're not considering them in your study, right? Random variable, I think, is generally we are studying in the maths. Suppose X is a random variable, means a variable which you're generally randomly picking is known as random variable. But in the from the point of view of research, generally there is no much use of the random variable, right? Although we are talking about the random sampling, not random variable, right? So these are some of the types of the variables which is very important to understand from the point of view of the hypothesis testing. After that, next question I am throwing to every one of you. After means generally, once you are you have decided to write a research paper, you have decided this will be your research title and with tentative research title, right? So it is like you will be having the keywords. Keywords means generally the variables, right? You will get the definition, operational definition of those variables from the research or from the literature. Once you are okay with that these variables are defined in literature somewhere, you are now proceeding with your research, right? So now you need to find which kind of variable you are having or what kind of objectives now you are setting, because objective setting is very important, which can help you, which can guide you now which kind of hypothesis will be formulated and which type of statistical test will be opted to test your hypothesis, right? So you need to understand this linking among all the components, right? So every component is linked in the research, right? So once your objectives are finalized, these objectives can help you or guide you to write your hypothesis. Hypothesis is nothing but this is based on the variables. So variables are clear. You are knowing what is the type of your variable. So I think it is clear to you how you're going to measure. Whether you're developing your own questionnaire, whether you are taking already available skill for your variables and all. So that you need to see. After that, you are going to collect the data. I hope till here my discussion is clear to everyone. No doubt in this.
Clear.
Ma'am, someone was requesting to explain once more, repeat once more for control variable, I guess.
In the chat, someone has written.
Yeah, in the chat, yeah, in message.
Okay, let
Somebody
me
wrote.
check. Start it. Who is asking? Let me check. Slowly working. Can you explain control? It's Pranjal Srivastava. Okay, fine. So when I said control variable means you need to have control not what I can say impact the relationship between the independent and dependent variable, right? Because known as the right. So your main focus will not be on the control variable. Your main focus will be on an independent variable, right? But still, you are knowing somewhere these are impacting the relationship between the dependent and independent variable. Say, for example, if I am studying the impact of income on the motivation, right? So income, I think we all know it's related to the finance, and finance somewhere playing a very important role in deciding the motivation, right? If you're getting a good salary, you will be motivated and you will work, or you will be more productive, right? So when I talk about income and the motivation, we know this thing. If I'm talking about the income of the person, quite obvious, person will be a male or female. You cannot what I can say, separate the gender from the income, because somewhere I'm studying the income of the persons. So income will be so the person will be either male or female. Getting my point? So this gender can impact the relationship between the income and the motivation, because I think, please don't mind, but I think this is what generally is very known to everyone, that usually female are getting paid less in comparison to the males, right? So maybe they are working on a same position, but might be possible as male is getting more than the female. So this we need to see this thing, that this is impacting the behavior or the motivation of the people. Getting my point? Please speak who is talking to me or who has asked the question. Hello. Are you listening to me?
Yes, ma'am, that was clear.
Clear? So shall I go ahead?
Yes, yes.
Yes. So purpose is actually generally. Oh, anyone wish to say something? So how means controlling means you need to keep them constant throughout your study. So generally in the experimental design, we are going for such kind of controlling thing. Usually when we talk about the researches like social sciences research, social science researches, separating the medical researches, right? So in those generally you are it is difficult for you to control them. But generally when we are going for the experimental design, there it is very easier for you to make them constant. So if you are making them constant, you are making or you are trying to control them. That way, the same impact you can observe. So this is very important thing for us to understand, that you need to go for the experimental study if we want to introduce a control variable in the study, right? I hope it's clear.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Moving ahead, coming to the next point. Next point is, after understanding that these are the variables of my study, now next question comes, how you're going to measure them. So for measuring the variables, you need to understand one more term, that is measurement scales. So anyone who can tell me what do you understand by measurement scales?
Like standardized tool, we can say.
Yes, good. Very good.
Ordinal scale.
Sorry?
Ordinal scale.
Ordinal scale, okay. Okay, fine.
Nominal, ordinal,
And
Nominal,
there are
interval.
I think
I'm not
four
asking
kind of
about the
scales.
types. I'm not asking about the types presently. I'm asking about what do you understand by term measurement skills.
And like
So
in research, I want to go with it strongly agree to agree. This kind of scale that you are asking when you do research, never to always.
No, I'm asking, sir, what do you understand by term measurement skills? What are the
Uh,
measurement skills?
these are the tools that help us to measure a variable or a concept.
Very good. So we can say,
We use measuring scales for measuring variables and the populations we are researching on.
okay, fine. Okay. So I think I'll express my point of view when I talk about measurement scales. I think we know this thing. Suppose any one of you, suppose you are going in a market, right? You need to buy water. So how you will ask for water from the shopkeeper? Yes,
A bottle of
Ask
water.
one bottle,
one bottle, 1 liter of
bottle.
water, 500 ml of water, something like that, right?
Uh,
Similarly, if you're
yes,
going in a market,
yes,
if you
ma'am.
want to buy tomato, you want to buy banana, I think we know how to ask for these things, right? That means there are certain
In
things.
kgs.
Yes, in kgs or maybe in dozen, if I'm asking about the banana and all, right? So we know this thing. If I want to buy such kind of thing, so similarly, temperature, if I talk about, we are knowing how to measure temperature, right? So that means there are certain variables whose scales are very clearly defined, right? If I want to, what is the length? I know how to measure the length of a particular thing. So for understanding these things, we are having the suitable apparatus available with us or proper measurement units available with us. Using that, we can measure them. But there are certain variables in the research which we want to measure, but we are not having a proper yardstick or proper scale available with us to measure it. Say, for example, I want to measure the perception of a person or attitude of a person. So I don't think so I'm having any apparatus or instrument available with me. Using that, I can measure that how much attitude a person is carrying within him. It is not like I cannot say a person is having 1 kg of attitude, right? Because I'm not having a skill available, so I cannot comment like this. Or maybe we are generally saying that person is having a very high attitude and maybe something like that. These kind of things we are saying for a person, but exact measurement we are not having it. So when you want to measure such kind of variables in your research study, you need to have a suitable scale available with us, right? So we can say measurement scales are the scales which can help us to measure the latent variable. Latent variable means the hidden thing of a variable which we want to measure in it. We can use measurement scale for measuring them, right? So I think almost everyone is knowing the types like nominal, then ordinal, interval, and ratio. I think everyone said this thing that these are the 4 types of scales, right? So the very first one is the nominal. Nominal scale is what? It's a very basic scale. It is providing you the base of categorization, right? Using the scale, you can only categorize the object. So means whenever you want to measure such kind of variables where only categorization is possible, you can use the nominal scale, right? For example, gender.
Yeah. Fruits
Sorry,
or colors, we can say.
colors.
Fruits, or we can say types of
Yes, you can
fruits.
say. Yeah, yes, you can say. May I know the name? Who is saying fruits?
Ma'am, it's types of fruits, I said. It's me,
No,
Nuzhat.
no. I am just asking because I think you are liking fruits very much. Is it?
I'm a fruit lover, ma'am. To be frank.
It's good. No problem. Yeah. So we can keep. Yeah. Anything you want to say?
Nothing, ma'am. Just getting tip of the tongue, all those examples. Don't mind.
No, I am not minding. Even I like fruits. No problem. Good. Okay. So these can be some of the examples of nominal scale. Moving ahead, talking about the next scale, which is the ordinal. ordinal scale will be helping you to categorize also. And apart from that, there will be the equal order in the categories, right? So not equal, yeah, there can be the order in the categories. So ordinal scale is having the two characteristics. First one is same like the normal categorization. Second one is the rank order, right? So I think I'm not writing the categorization. I hope you are understanding that it is having the inherent characteristics of the nominal scale. So you can keep this thing in your mind. When you're proceeding from one scale to the next scale, every scale will be possessing the features of its previous scale, right? So I'm only writing here the rank order. So for example, suppose I have written height and I'm measuring height in terms of tall, medium, and short people. So you can see here categorization is possible of the respondents and how many of them the short heighted, medium heighted, and tall heighted. So on the basis of that, I have categorized my respondents, and also I can arrange them in a particular order. This is the short people group, this is the medium people group, this is the tall people group. So order is also possible in maybe ascending or descending, right? So that way you can say this is the ordinal scale. Next comes the interval. So interval will be having the categorization, it will be having the rank order, and it will having the equal distance. So I think one of you have taken the name of temperature. So I always take the example of temperature when I explain interval scale. It is the best to understand interval scale because we know this thing that temperature can be felt by, maybe we are feeling cold, maybe we are feeling very hot, right? So we can say there are two characteristics of the temperature, hot and cold. So when the temperature scale was developed by the research, by the scientists, so what they did at the particular point, they kept a zero, right? So that zero is not the actual zero because we also know now the scale has already been made by the scientists, and we know this thing at the 0 degree we are feeling cold. Means whatever we are measuring, if I'm saying it 0, it should be actually 0. But at 0 degrees Celsius, I'm feeling one of the characteristics or feature of the temperature, which is cold. So that is why we say the temperature scale is a problem of the actual 0. So similarly, we can say interval scale is having the problem of equal 0, right? So if I'm saying a person with the 0 perception, it is not possible. Every person is carrying some perception about particular thing. Maybe he or she is not expressing, but still he will be having something about that particular thing, right? So we can say interval scale is having the property of equal distance. Apart from that, it is lacking with the actual 0. This thing we can cover in the last scale named as ratio scale. So it will be having absolute 0. Right? So when you are saying a person with the 0 salary, so it is quite possible. Means he is not earning anything, so his salary will be 0. So that is why when we are having the absolute 0 available, this scale is providing you the base for the comparison. So for the comparison purpose, we are using the ratio scale variable, right? So these are the 4 measurement scales which can help us that now after identifying the variables, how you can measure them, or which scale you can use, or which scale is appropriate to measure your identified variables. I hope till here I am clear to everyone.
Yes, ma'am.
Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
So, fine. So friends, now I think I'll proceed to the SPSS. We will see now SPSS interface. We will see now how SPSS can help us to work with SPSS, right? So I'll stop share my this screen and I'll share you the next screen. Fine. Okay, so once my screen is visible, please give me a confirmation. Visible my screen?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Now it is
Yes.
visible.
Fine. So today is like you do not need to do anything. You need to only understand today SPSS and its interface. From tomorrow onwards, your work will start with the hands-on, right? So I will firstly talk about this interface. I think you all can see this is very similar to the Excel because it is a grid kind of layout which is in the Excel also. So very familiar with. I think everyone will be very familiar with it because I think almost all of us are working on the Excel, right? So we can say SPSS is nothing but it's a grid kind of layout, right? Which can help you to store your data. You need to see when I talk about the Excel, in the Excel, we know this thing, once you are opening any workbook, a workbook will open, and at the bottom, when you are writing, when you are reading sheet 1, so there is a plus sign. So you can enter, once you are clicking on the plus, so that way you can enter multiple worksheets in a workbook. That kind of interface we are getting in the Microsoft Excel. But when we talk about SPSS, in SPSS you cannot do like that, right? You can see at the bottom there are two buttons available, data view and the variable view, right? Presently and color, these colors are distinguishing you that in presently on which particular view you are. So at the present, if you will see, variable view color is little yellowish, right? Maybe in the sharing you can see some other color, but you can differentiate, right? So presently the variable view of the SPSS is active, right? So you can see in the variable view there are certain column headings are given, named as name, type, width, decimals, label, etc. So this view will help you to define your variable. So here you can define your variable, right? Once you are defining your variable, these will be becoming the column headings of your data, right? So one thing is that manually you can define your variable here, right? But I think nowadays we are doing a research or collecting the data using the Google form, right? So if you are collecting the data using the Google form, so it is like you can extract the data in the Excel. So you can bring Excel here in the Excel data here in the SPSS. So if you are fetching your data from any sources where the labels or the headings are already defined, in that way, if you are fetching your data from that source, so the same headings will be taken by the SPSS. In that case, you don't need to define the variable. So that way, it will be imported with the name. That is a one thing. I think it is very simple to understand what I said. Either you can define manually, or if you are bringing your data from any source, if variable names are defined there, so they will be taken by the SPSS as it is. I hope it is clear.
Yes, ma'am, all clear, ma'am.
Yes. Yeah. Only difference is that if in your source file the variable name are containing certain space, suppose I have written there the gender of the participant, right? So in that case, you can see there are spaces between the name of the variable. Excel will not take, SPSS will not take that space. What it will do, it will remove the spaces. So now we will see what are the limitations of giving names to the variable, right? So here you can see presently in the first row, first cell is active under the name. So that means I need to give the name to my variable. So initially I am doing some mistakes deliberately so that you can see what I cannot do while defining the name. So I am starting the name with the hashtag. So I have written hashtag gender. Now I am pressing a tab or maybe I am entering it. So you can see it is throwing me an error, invalid variable name. That means I cannot start the name of the variable using the hashtag. Again, variable name contains an illegal character. Means percent is not allowed. Now the dollar. Again, not allowed, right? That means any special character you are keeping before the name of the variable, it will not be taken by the SPSS. Similarly, if I'm keeping any number before the name of the variable, it is also not accepted. So if these kind of symbols or numbers you want to keep in the name of the variable, so maybe at the end or in between somewhere you can keep, but not at the start point, right? But if you are using the @ before the name, it is allowed. You can see once I've pressed enter or maybe the tab key, you can see It is allowed. No error was thrown by the SPSS, and fields are already filled. So these are the by default setting, right? Clear to everyone?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am.
Yes, yes.
Similarly, now you can see what I have written. I have written name of student, right? So deliberately I have kept here a space. So you can see once I'm pressing enter, again variable name contains an illegal character. So whatever was the previous name defined, it has taken that rather than taking that. If you wish to keep space, you can use the underscore here. And along with underscore, I'm showing you one more thing, that is the period. Dot sign also you can see. Take. So either both the underscore, sorry. Any question? Shall I go ahead?
Yeah.
Yeah. So either the underscore or either the both the periods you can take once you want to define your variable name using more than one word. So presently, I'm keeping a simple gender. Then next comes the type. So type of variable, by default, SPSS takes the type of variable as numeric because SPSS is based on statistics and statistics can deal with the numbers. This is the limitation of statistics, right? So usually by default type of your variable will be the numeric. If you wish to change it, you can click on these three dots. So you can see the range. These are the different types of variables available. But we being a researcher, mostly we are using the numeric type, or sometimes you can go for the currency and all if you are using the financial data. You can go for the string if you are using the name, address kind of thing. You can go with the string also, right? But gender, if I am taking here and I'm keeping it numeric, will it be okay? Or I need to keep it as a string? Yes?
String.
String. Okay. So as I said, okay, thank you so much, ma'am. As I said, okay, ma'am said string. So I have selected string, but I want to tell you one thing. As I said, usually SPSS is known as the statistical package, right? So if you go with the string, even it will not create problem, but once you're applying the statistical test, it creates problem for you, right? So we need to make it numeric. Why so? Because you people have heard about in the while doing the research, we are doing the coding of the data, whatever data we are collected. So we will code our data. So that way we will give some number to the categories of the gender, and we are making it a numeric value. Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yes, ma'am,
Next
yes.
comes the width. Width meaning usually in case of number or numeric variable, there is not much role of the width until and unless your variable is a continuous variable. For the discrete variable, there is no role of the width. But if you are having a string variable, in that case, it will only allow you to enter 8 characters. But in the case of numeric, discrete variable, no use. But if your variable is continuous, means a decimal point variable, then it will only allow you to enter 8 characters, 8 digits, right? So that is a width. Decimal, I think in case of numeric, there is no role of decimal. So I'm making it 0. So using these drop down, we can increase or decrease the decimal points. Next comes the labels. Labels meaning is what? As we have seen the limitations of defining or giving the name to our variable. So this extra thing available in SPSS that is helping you to describe your variable the way you want. So if you want to write even story for your variable, you can write. Usually it is suggested to write the description of your variable because if you are using your same data multiple times, so that way for the future reference you can define it. So if you are picking the same file in after 1 month or 2, so you would be in a position to recall what is that particular variable exactly, right? Clear?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. Moving to the next. Talking about now the just a minute, something else. Next one is the values. So values is like coding I have just explained you. So whatever coding you are giving, that coding you can define here for your memory purpose, right? Say for example, you can click here on the three dots. You can see a dialog box will appear. in the value, suppose it is gender, so I'm writing 1. Suppose I have coded male as 1. So my label was male, value was 1. I'm clicking on add, right? Similarly, suppose 2 I have given to the female and I'm clicking on add. So this way you can define your codes, right? Or coding whatever you have given. So this is again for your reference purpose. Maybe afterwards you forgot one is for female or male or whatever numbers you have given. So that way these codes can help. If suppose I'm selecting this, so it is asking me to remove. Suppose I have made a change, right? So if I will click on this, so whatever I have defined, that will be replaced by this. Getting my point? If I wish to remove, if I have made any mistake or something, I can remove it also. Once I will click on OK, it will be defined here, right? It is not like you cannot make changes. You can again go there and whatever changes you want to make, you can do that. So that way we can define our codes here. Next comes the missing value. Missing value is important for you to understand. So I'll take few more things here. Suppose I'm taking now age, right? I'll show you. I'll come here. You can see. I hope you can see dot, 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 right? Visible, I hope.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So now you can see the periods or the dots are the indication of the system defined missing value. So from the point of view of the SPSS, there are two missing values. The first one is the system defined. Second one is the user defined. System defined meaning is what? The data which is not available with the SPSS is known as system defined. That means we have not provided data to the SPSS. So that is why these periods are being observed by us, right? Next is the user defined missing value. So here in the variable view, this missing value is nothing, but this is the user defined missing value. So what is the meaning of this user defined missing value? Meaning is this: if you want to define it, just a minute, I'm giving some values here, right? Deliberately, I'll enter a few figures which I want or which I don't want to use. Done. I'm making it 0. Right. Coming here. Meaning is that if for some purpose you want to exclude some person's data from your study. Suppose you decided, I do not want to study the respondents whose age is less than, suppose, 25, right? So you don't want to include such person's data in your study. So rather than deleting that data, you can use this feature of the SPSS, and here you can define that this should be the missing value. This should be missed by my or from my data while SPSS is performing any tool or any statistical tool on the data for the age value. So in that case, SPSS will not include those persons' data whichever are defined here. Suppose I'll click on this. You can see in the dialog box, there are 3 options. No missing values. By default, there is no missing value from the SPSS point side. Everything is included in your analysis. Then 2 options are discrete missing values and range plus 1 optional discrete missing value. So if I talk about the first one, so here it is providing